Dusty Cabbage, you caught me out here on the porch. I'm actually out here in the rocker, and I got this rocker, and they don't pay me to say this, I got this rocker at Cracker Barrel 24 years ago. And I'll tell you what, it might be one of the most sustainable things that I have. It sat out here on this porch in Missouri winters, Missouri summers. It gets over 100 degrees, gets down well into the negative 20s, and come February, next month typically, this thing's lasted forever, and I've never had to do anything to it. But we can make fun of Cracker Barrel all we want, but I'll tell you what, they got dang good rocking chairs. So we're back again with another story from the road, and this time we're going to Las Vegas. And I'll tell you what, as time goes on, there will probably be a whole bunch of Las Vegas stories, because Dusty has found himself in some interesting places and interesting situations and met some very fascinating people out there over the years. It's probably the city I go to most. City I've had a lot of fun in, had a lot of wild experiences in too. Met a lot of celebrities. We'll talk about them in other stories, but this time, you know, I'm not really sure what the point of this story is, but the point of this story is, I guess, it seems like the point of all of my stories is to ask better questions. So this was probably, I don't know, 10, 15 years. Well, no, it wasn't. It was probably within the last 10 years. Head out to Las Vegas, and I always take the earliest flights out there. So I land about 7:30 in the morning, get over to the hotel, and for 25 years I stayed at an MGM property, MGM Grand or MGM Signature. That one they're behind MGM. But for this particular trip, MGM was either sold out or it was just ungodly expensive or something like that. So I'm like, you know what? Where's my gig at? It's going to be up on the north end of the Strip, so I might as well get a hotel up there. So I end up staying at a place called the SLS. Now, this place used to be the Sahara way back when, and then turned into the SLS, and actually today it's turned back into Sahara. But it's one of the older hotels, but they gussied it all up when they turned it into the SLS. They were trying to go for a higher tier clientele. So I get to the SLS, and it's the first time I'd been there, because I was at MGM for 20-something years. So I get there, and they're like, sir, we don't have a room ready for you, because it's, you know, like 8 in the morning, check-in time's at 3. And I'm like, well, I'll tell you what, I have my swimming trunks in my backpack here. Is there a pool I could just go hang out at there? Well, the pool doesn't open until 10, but you could certainly go on up there and hang out if you want to. I'm like, that's fantastic. So I follow the signs that point to the pool, and I go through a corridor and into another building and up the elevator to the 4th floor, and I get up there, and there's nobody there because they don't open it till 10. And I see a gentleman there who's like restocking their coolers and stuff for their bar for the day. And he says, yeah, go ahead and you can just hang out here. You know, I know your room's not ready, so just make yourself at home. And he gave me a Stella Artois beer in a big white can. I'd never seen it in a can before. So he gives me a beer, I drink the beer, I lay down at the pool there in one of those lounge chairs, and I'm by myself. And I dozed off because I had to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning or whatnot to head to the airport here in Kansas City. I get there, I doze off, and I wake up. And I woke up, and it was about 11 o'clock. I took a long nap. And I wake up, and I you know, when you're kind of coming out of sleep, you're kind of not all there. And I'm kind of looking around, and I noticed 2 things. 1, I am the only man here. 2, none of these ladies have their tops on. I'm like, what kind of a time warp or other dimension did I fall into in this nap? So I'm just kind of looking around trying to play it cool because I feel like I'm somewhere I'm not supposed to be, right? You know, hard to believe, but Dusty doesn't find himself surrounded by naked women very often. So I'm just trying to figure out what is going on. But then all of a sudden, all the nudity didn't matter because I noticed that there was a half-naked woman next to me, like 8 inches away. And it turned out she was a French lady that only spoke French. So, but the biggest thing about all that was all the nudity kind of didn't matter anymore because I noticed something else. This French woman with her top off, she only had 3 toes. That was a mind blower. That was more of a mind blower than seeing all these half-naked women around me. So, I guess the moral of this story is kind of like the moral of most of my stories. Ask better questions. I said, where's the pool? And he pointed toward a thing, and I started following signs to the pool. Well, as it turns out, they have 3 pools at the SLS, or the Sahara as it is today. One of them, during just a couple of years, a few years ago, had a topless pool. Nobody told me that. Maybe Dusty should have asked better questions, but I think that's one that I just fell into on accident. I don't know that you really need to go anywhere. Typically you go somewhere and say, where is the pool? Not knowing they have 3, which by the way, that gal with 3 toes, that's freaking amazing. Anyway, y'all, you have a great day. I hope you get your friends to like, follow, whatever on this social media, and we can develop a little fun group here and have a little fun, tell some true stories. I'll tell you what, people have already asked me, every one of these stories are true. So anyway, have a fantastic day. Thank God for all He's given you, and do something to smile.